Welcome back to the Treasure Coast Board Riders Club podcast, Talking the Plank. Our goal is to introduce and highlight local athletes, business owners, pros, and beginners. If you're looking to hang out with like-minded members to the surf community, stay tuned. You won't be disappointed. And this is all brought to you by sharktoothsurf.com and use code PLANK10. Designed apparel gear for board riders since 1993. Sharktooth Surf Company is here to equip surfers and seed life in style. They design surf clothing and surf gear for adventure seekers, maybe like yourself. Sharktooth uses manufacturing processes that reduce waste. Please go to sharktoothsurf.com, use code PLANK10. That's PLANK10. That's sharktoothsurf.com. And upcoming dates, January 23rd, the Peridolia Brewing in Sebastian Club meeting and movie night with local boy Martinez. And it's going to be a fun one. I hope all you guys come out to that. A little bit of club meeting and a little bit of, whatever you can see about what we've been doing and what he's been filming. That's going to be great. January 31st, tryouts at Jetty. Must be a member. Call Brandon. Message him. Get a hold of him. We need some heavy hitters to make it to the Florida Cup. February 2nd at Jetty, practice for the contest. February 3rd at the Jetty is the Florida Cup. Stop number 3 in our home district. So that's another thing that we need the boys that really put it down, that haven't been able to come to the tryouts, to come stand up for the Treasure Coast. Come on, boys. April 6th and 7th, Ohana Surf Shop Single Fin Showdown at 15th annual Single Fin Showdown. And if you're around here and have been surfing, that is one of the all-time family get-togethers that we've had for quite a while. 15th annual, and you get like a sports jacket when you win too. It's pretty cool. Like you feel like a Golden Cup, a golfer winner. You've been there. You've seen that. Yeah. Last is May, family fun surfing day free surf clinic. Location is going to be determined. And we're going to just get right into it, right? Correct? Welcome. We are here watching the Pismo Beach WSL QS, also with Rodney.
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Roller. I lived 20 years in Pismo Beach, and I watched that event start. My neighbor puts it together. His name's Andy McKay, and he started that event 5 years ago.
Yeah, a lot of history. How long have you lived there during that time before you?
I lived in Pismo Beach for 20 years, and for 20 years, I ran a surf school there, and I surfed that pier every day for 20 years straight.
That's. It looks like a good wave. It looks like maybe a little bit high tide today. You think?
It must be high tide because typically that wave is a little bit more, kind of like Fort Pierce.
Really?
It could be fast and steep.
Yeah. A little bit longer lines.
Longer lines. Yeah.
And position wise, is it northern mid California or
It
southern?
it's smack in the middle, so it's Central
Is
Coast.
that near Manhattan Beach?
No, nowhere near. It's
Okay.
basically right smack in the middle, so it's fine because there's no beach town
Near it.
near there
Just
than 90 miles to Santa Barbara.
wow. So you're born and raised there. How long was your when did you start surfing at Pismo or Pismo was your local break?
It was my local break, but I grew up in LA. I grew up in
Okay.
Huntington Beach.
Yeah.
I went up to Pismo Beach the first time in 1984. I camped out on the beach there, and we got there at midnight. And Pismo has kind of like a king tide, so we woke up in 8 feet of water.
Yeah.
Our truck was underwater, and so we woke up by the king tide coming up on us, and it swallowed our truck. And
Wow. I just saw a storm just do that to a whole bunch of campers over there. You
it
saw that?
happens every January. Yeah,
Oh man.
yeah.
Used to ride for Caton, so I know Huntington
Hmm.
that yeah, when I went out there.
Okay, yeah.
Shout out to Chad Bonsack and all those boys.
I was a golden
Yeah.
before they built all those condos. It was all oil fields back in my day.
Yeah. There you go. Wow. Now you knew the still the same people that are running this competition is the team guy. You were pretty well in friends, right?
Yeah, I was on Team USA. So the announcer there, Brett Simmons, he was my coach for Team USA, and
Yeah.
so it's nice to see him come up. Typically, the LA guys don't come up to Pismo; they turn around at Santa Barbara, and so to have the LA crew come up,
Yeah.
it's kind of really a unique thing.
So was he a coach when you were more in LA? Or
No, when I was on the adaptive surf team for Team USA back,
okay.
he became our
Yeah.
coach,
Hell
and
yeah.
so that's where I met him, and so I didn't really know him as a pro surfer.
Right.
I just met him as my coach,
Yeah.
and
That's how that's how it rolls. Now, is there a big like organization for the adaptive surfer?
yeah, actually, we are now. Well, not only are we on the ISA World, you know, they have an event for us on the ISA World Adaptive division, but also we have a pro tour. We have
No
Association
way.
of Surfing Professional Adaptive Surfers,
Right.
and we're holding an event in Byron Bay, Australia.
Wow.
And so that's a huge event. We got
Yeah.
over $100,000 in prize money.
Wow.
To be divided up.
That's insane. And if anyone knows about adaptive, what show them why you're adaptive and is this a normal uh kind of thing? He's a Treasure Coast pirate for a real reason right here. And
I'm what they call an amputee surfer,
yes, sir.
the knee amputee surfer. And so we have like multiple different divisions, between people missing arms and legs, and
Yes.
blind even, and
Wow.
so forth.
Yeah, I have a friend that actually might qualify for that. He went on a uh dirt mountain bike, knocked his lenses out of the backs of his eyes, and
Mhm.
he's had to get surgery. I don't think he's getting much better, but it's one of those blind and different categories, huh?
We're all just one injury away.
Yeah,
You
we are.
know.
I got to stop skateboarding. Or I should start because it sounds like this is a great event.
Yeah, you could become a pro surfer.
Finally get that big money. Well, and yes, sir.
Yes. Yeah. Yes. Yeah. Okay. It's been I retired 2 years ago, and so I'm gonna do my best. But basically, there's about seven different divisions. One being the A, starting with the AS1. In the AS1 division, that would be your below the knee amputees,
Okay.
and so you will be those amputees are missing part of their leg below the knee. And then we would have AS2, which is above the knee and either left or right. And then we would have your upper uh, limb disability, whether
Forearm or up
yeah,
above.
it can go from anywhere from the hand all the way to the full arm. And then we also have different categories when it comes to being paralyzed. Basically, there's different ways you can surf as a paralyzed surfer. Some surf sitting down, some surf laying down, some surf assisted because they're unable to paddle, and then some have coaches that are out there that paddle for them and push them into waves.
Okay.
One being the famous Jesse Ballauer, who was a pro surfer who broke his neck back in 1997, I believe, at Zuma Beach, and he broke his neck, and so he's one of the famous ones. He has an organization called Life Rolls On.
Yeah. And I know his story. I've read about that.
Mhm.
That's been going on for a while.
Yeah, really awesome dude, and so he does events around the world, and he's a great inspiration, and I believe he's a 5-time gold medalist.
Yeah. Yeah. And I surf with Bethany Anderson. What yeah, Bethany Anderson, right?
Hamilton.
Hamilton. Yes. Not Lisa Anderson. Bethany
Yeah.
Hamilton and in Nicaragua. And she was also on the NSSA all-star team. CJ and Damien came and brought all the NSSA kids. The Gagauskises, Alex Gray, and I was already there. My family has a house over there, and I was just surfing, and here they come. There was everyone, and I had a really good experience, and got to put show down some of my barrel riding over
Nice.
there, right with them.
She's a really strong surfer. I mean,
Definitely,
she has some really power turns. She's from Hawaii, so it's all about the power turn, and
yeah.
so she had some really good turns.
She still is. I think she's man. She hasn't lost a beat in the last few contests she's been in. Like
Hmm.
if anything, she's settling in,
Yeah.
getting better with the disability, and
Hmm.
just and man,
She doesn't consider herself to be disabled. She doesn't.
I don't think.
She, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. She doesn't consider herself to be a disabled surfer. And no one can argue that.
I don't think so. She'd rip me out a pipe any day. Um, yes, sir.
Mhm.
91% of the people never follow through on the things.
Yes.
Um, how's he injured?
Jesse Blauer broke his neck surfing shore pound at Zuma Beach, and you know anyone who surfs Zuma Beach knows how dangerous it can be. Basically, just about a 5 foot wave went down head first, and you know came up, and
I have many close calls
yeah,
about that one.
and it unfortunately broke his neck, and you know.
Yeah. So right now we are in round 96, heat 15, 16, 18 minutes and 50 seconds. One of the speaking about accidents and how they happen, both of us have a very similar story. Working in, you know,
Industrial accident.
industrial. I was in a boat yard for tugboats, and you were at
A
the
lumberyard.
lumber yard. It's another thing that is very important in the workforce to, you know, always wear your safety glasses, your helmet. OSHA isn't playing around.
No.
They're not playing around.
No.
And just because it gets done faster for some companies doesn't mean it's the safest thing for your life either.
And sometimes I would say you have to trust your gut instinct because OSHA wasn't really there for me back 25 years ago. I wrote a letter to OSHA
Yeah.
explaining how dangerous the job site was, and they didn't even bother to check in on it. You know, they just
Oh.
they just basically wrote to the company and said, you know, is it true that you guys are dangerous? And the company said, of course not.
Yeah. And that's pretty much how I've grown up as well, and running tugboats and doing that. And we, you know, you got to go in those tugs. I mean, the barges, and you know, you're blasting rust and doing a whole bunch of stuff, and you need ventilation, and you're working with toxic paint, and there's tons of dangers out there. But it's very, if you feel your gut and you want more questions than they're giving you, ask for more.
Yeah, I would agree with that. Yeah.
Yes, sir. Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
We're gonna be right back. We're gonna change out batteries in the cameras and then get right back to you.